done. I don't know what's happening. Why is it doing that? But I might have to update everything later on. YouTube is playing. I shared this link with so many people, so I really want this link to work. Let's see. Oh my goodness, it's really not working. Okay, it's working now. Yay! Let's see if you can hear me. I want to see if you can hear my music. Okay, you can't hear my music now. Okay, that works for me. Hello, everyone. Welcome to my live. I'm hoping that this live does not get shot down because of the music. But if not, I still want you to get the message. And if I had to, I'll cut this beginning part off. But when I thought of this video, the first song that I thought about was Bag Lady. Okay, because that's really what I felt like. I felt like a bag lady when I was carrying around all that weight. So while we waiting for everybody to get in, we're gonna sing a little bit. If you know the song, sing along, okay? We're gonna start over. I got my mic. My husband bought this for me, and I feel like I need to use it, so I'm gonna use it today, okay? Comment if you know where this mic came from. I'm pretty sure you've seen it before. All right, we're gonna sing a little bit. Let's start over. I know y'all know the words. Bag lady, you won't hurt your back. Carry around them bags like that. I bet no one ever told you. All you must hold on to is you, is you, is you. One day he gonna save you. I forgot the words. Y'all know the words? Y'all can just keep it. I don't need to sing the whole song, but I'm sure y'all know this song, okay? All right, let me stop playing. I'm gonna go to the video. Y'all was actually commenting. I was just playing, y'all. I could sing a little bit, but this song, this video just reminds me of carrying bags, okay? Baggage, okay? Lots of baggage. So today I want to talk about how you can get rid of that baby fat, okay? The name of this video, at least what I originally was going to title it, I was originally going to title it Curb These Habits and Lose That Ancient Postpartum Weight. But I felt like that was too mean, so I changed it. So y'all see the title now, okay? Y'all already know what this video is going to be about. And I'm going to give you some tips. I'm going to give you some information, some things that I literally have done myself. So I know that they work. I'm not going to give you anything that I don't think is going to work. I wouldn't even waste my time. I wouldn't even waste your time like that. I wouldn't even do that to you. Because I know you came here because you want a solution. You're trying to fix it, okay? And we're all about solutions, okay? I think I have a comment already. Somebody said, get it, girl. I'm trying a little bit, okay? So I have my notes over here because I tend to get off subject a lot and I don't want to just be blabbing and just saying a whole lot of nothing, okay? But while I'm talking, I want you to leave comments in the comment section. If you have any comments about anything I'm talking about, please try to stay on subject, okay? Because my last couple lives, people were talking about all kinds of things. So try to stay on subject, okay? If you have another question that's outside of this subject, that is something revolving around my channel, because my channel is about the self-development of moms and wives. So if that's something that you have a question about, you can email me. So my email is Gwendolyn Ray at, I'm about to say Gmail, at outlook.com. So any other questions, please send them there. Okay. Eventually I'll get like a Google form or something where you can put in your questions, but for now you can just email me. Okay. So I want to start by talking about the first thing. Okay. So I guess my eyes not working that well today. So I'm gonna be taking my glasses on and off. So the first thing I want to talk about is that you need to stop treating water as a secondary drink. Okay, that's the first thing that you can do when it comes to losing belly fat as a mom. Because honestly, you can't lose any weight if you're not drinking enough water. You just can't. Okay, it just doesn't work that way. It doesn't. And that's one of the things that I had to do personally in order to start losing weight, because I just could not lose any weight if I wasn't drinking enough water. Now, I'm going to say this one thing, okay? Now, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a practitioner, I'm not a nurse, I'm not anything in the medical field, okay? So you don't really have to take my advice and use it. Before you start, what they say, before you start any programs or change your diet, please make sure you see your doctor first, okay? So these are just things that I have done. If you decide to adopt them, that is completely up to you. But I'm telling you what has worked for me, okay? Now, I have heard this thing where people say you should drink a gallon of water a day. I think that is outrageous, and I will never drink that much water in a day. That is too much water. I say it's too much water because, my God, who has time to drink that much water? Number one. But number two, if you drink that much water in a day, you're literally going to just be urinating everything out of your body. Everything that you put in you is just going to come right out. It's not going to have any time to do what it's supposed to do. Okay. So when they say drink a certain amount of water, what they really mean is you need to get that much water intake in a day. So this is the part that a lot of people don't really think about, is that water is H2O, yes, but water, when it's found inside of other things, is considered as three hydrogens, which means it's a thicker form of water. Okay. And you can find those inside of fruits and vegetables. So all of your water intake, which is the good news, it does not have to come all from your water, meaning like the water that you drink out of a bottle. So when you are thinking of hydrating yourself, I want you to think of it more so as in like, how can I receive hydration, and not just carrying around a gallon of water and trying to drink it before the day is over. Okay, because that's too much water. You don't need that much just from water alone. So your water can come from different sources. We definitely, not we, because I'm not a doctor, but they recommend that you drink I think it's, if I'm not mistaken, it's at least 64 ounces to a gallon. I drink about 64 ounces of water, and then the rest of my water I get from fruits and vegetables. And that's one of the ways I was able to drop my belly fat, because it was just holding on for dear life. Okay. It was holding on. It did not want to go away. Okay. And if you don't do anything about it, it's not going to go anywhere. All right. It's not. So you have to think about your water intake. I want you to change and stop, because these are the things that I want you to stop doing. Is that I want you to stop thinking about water as in like a thing that doesn't matter. Like I said, like it's a secondary drink. So for instance, I know people that they actually complain about having to buy water. Now, you don't have to buy water. You can bring water from home from a plastic bottle that you may have in the house. Excuse me. or like a glass bottle that you may have, because some people, they're really serious about recycling and saving the earth. So maybe like a glass bottle that you can go and fill up over and over again, maybe while you're at work, when you're out, because there's plenty of water fountains, honestly. So that's one of the things that you can do. But I don't want you to stress about drinking a gallon of water. You have to focus on your food as well too, because your water intake is not supposed to just come from water. It's supposed to come from fruits and vegetables too. So I originally heard this from Dr. Bobby Price. So I don't know if you've heard of him before, but he actually has a YouTube channel here on YouTube. And I think that's the good part about YouTube, is that you can get so much information from different minds around the world. And Dr. Bobby Price is an actual doctor. Just to make sure, it's people that say that they're doctors, but he actually is a doctor. He also has a book too. I don't know about heart, so let me read it to you. I actually want to order this book. Okay. I've read a couple pages because he gives you like examples, not examples, but he gives you like kind of like cliff notes of the book. But the name of the book is called Vegucation Over Medication: The Myths, Lies, and Truths About Modern Foods and Medicines. So that book has so much information on it. And he also talks about hydration in that book. So if you're curious and want to learn more about how to eat holistic, that is a really good book to go to. I have left the link in the description section. So if you want to go and check out that book, borrow it from the library if you want to. But it is here on YouTube. I mean, not on YouTube. It is on his website and also on Amazon. So I left the Amazon link in the description section. So if you want to go and pick it up, I will get some sort of commission from it. It's like I said, it's only a couple cents. I tell people that all the time, but every penny counts. So if you purchase that book, I will be very grateful, but your gut will thank you most of all. So I'm going to go to the next thing because I don't want to spend too much time because I have a couple things I need to cover today. Okay. So the second thing I want to talk about is that I want you to stop listening to people that do not have the physique that you want to have. Okay. And I know some people might be upset about that, but it's true. I think that's one of the things we have to stop doing. I know that for me, I was actually following a lot of people's advice and they didn't look even close to what I wanted to look like. And of course, everybody's body is different. But at the same time, if they are not even at the fitness level that you want to be at, what real advice can they actually give you? Unless, and this is the only exception for me, unless they have been at the place that you want to be before, because there are athletes that are retired. So those are people I would definitely take advice from because they have already been there and done that before. So I'm never in the place where I'm like, I can't learn anything and I'm not willing to accept advice, but I prefer to take it from someone that has been there before and that looks like, or is even close to, or did look like something that I want to look like. Okay. That is extremely important because you might be taking advice from somebody that has no clue what they're talking about. They might even be trying to sabotage you because there are people out there, we got to be honest. There are people that are envious of you. They see you working hard and they see that you're trying to lose weight and they'll say things to hold you back, to limit you because they may not want to see you grow. So you really have to think about the advice that you're taking from people. And you can't always know people's intentions, but you can really think for yourself ahead of time. Or, like you can take the advice, but take it with a grain of salt. That's really what I would say, honestly. Um, like I said, one of the things that they do, if they really don't know what they're talking about, is that they're really holding you back from being where you want to be. If you take their advice and you don't use any other advice from anybody else, if they're not where you want to be, how can they even help you elevate to that level at all? So I personally just don't suggest it. And that's one of the things that I stopped doing. And that's why I'm sharing it with you because I think that's one thing that we have to consider. You're going to have a lot of opinions from a lot of people about your weight, especially if you're a mom that has had children years ago. and you haven't lost the weight yet, people are going to have so many opinions. They're going to have so many things to say about you. But look at them. Before you take their advice, look at their gut. Do that first. Okay. Um, Another thing, people will, I think I may have said this already, but people will discourage you. Okay, they'll discourage you into trying to lose weight. I've had people say, well, you don't want to get too skinny. What if you get too skinny? It's like, well, it's better than looking like you. That's what I'm thinking in my head. I'm happy. I'd rather be skinny than to look like you. That and I don't say that out loud, but I'm thinking it in my head. You don't have to say it out loud. You can keep your thoughts to yourself. You can say it too if you want to, but I honestly just don't. I don't feel like the drama, so I just feel like, oh, okay, that's nice, and I just move on. But at the end of the day, people's opinion of you is none of your business. Okay. So if people want to sit and talk about you, knowing that you're on a weight loss journey, knowing that you're trying to lose weight, knowing that you're trying to look better, and all they can do is complain or try to slow you down, you just gotta ignore it. Just act like they're not even talking. Like, oh, I don't know who they talking to. Oh man, you must be angry. Poor you. That's me. Poor you. Okay, so another thing I want to talk about is that I want you to stop neglecting. Well, not you, what I did. I'll start with me. I stopped neglecting strength training. Okay, so I have a story behind this. So I'm telling you these things because I don't want you to repeat the cycles that I have repeated already. I think I've done this like 1.5 times. I'm gonna say 1.5. Okay, do not neglect strength training. And strength training basically is lifting weights or doing workouts that are going to help strengthen your muscles. Like, so you can do calisthenics, you can do weight training, like I said, with weights. What else can you do? Even body weight exercises, which I think is still considered calisthenics. I think that's still considered calisthenics. I think even Pilates is considered as a strength training exercise. So you can do that as well too. But the reason why I say I'm glad that I had stopped neglecting it is because my body completely changed. Like, even though I was a lot smaller when I was younger, I personally, I guess as a woman, I feel like I look so much better, and I'm very proud of my physique. I'm proud of the way that I look. And it's really because I started weightlifting. I started doing strength training. And I started doing it because I had already went on the spree of cardio. I had already did that before. When I first started going, not when I first started going to the gym, because I actually first went to the gym when I was like 21. But when I went back to the gym, once I noticed I was gaining so much weight and it was starting to spiral out of control, I actually started to go to the gym with a friend, with a coworker. And we went to the gym. The only thing we did was get on the elliptical, the treadmill, and I think some sort of like leg machine, maybe like the Stairmaster or something like that. And don't get me wrong, those machines they do work, they do something. The problem is that they don't build muscle. So when you do too much cardio, what happens is you lose weight. Yes, you're going to lose weight. Okay, the weight is going to fall off. As long as your diet is on point, you're going to lose weight. But the problem is you're going to lose your muscle too. And when you lose your muscle, you lose your shape, you lose your curves. Okay. And as a woman, honestly, I think even as a man, like, you don't want to look flat. You don't want to look flat. You don't want to do all that work in the gym, sweat, spend all your time, your energy in the gym just to walk away looking like a floppy noodle. That's just not what you want. Not only that is that if you also, let me catch my words, okay? Catch my breath. But also, if you don't do strength training, you're also going to look flabby, okay? You're going to look flabby and you're going to look saggy. Okay. And that's why a lot of women, when they lose and they drop weight really fast and they do it based off cardio, they have things like their arms are like real droopy and like you can make them move and stuff like that. Or like they'll lose their, like the fat under their stomach is gone, but it's like saggy. And don't get me wrong, I've had children, so I know what it looks like to have stretch marks. Stretch marks is something I think if you can't really avoid when it comes to having babies, because your body, stretch marks is just saying my body stretched at one point and it went back. That's really all stretch marks are. But when it comes to really saggy skin or um, having what I call a mom belly, that really can be caused because of cortisol, your hormones being thrown off and doing too much cardio over and over again. So I would say limit cardio. I would never say get rid of cardio and don't do it at all, because that is one of the ways that you can burn calories. Yes. So do not stop doing cardio, but do not make that your main focus. Your main focus should always be strength training, because you need your muscle and you need to build muscle, especially when you're losing weight, because that's what's going to help keep you healthy. That's what's going to keep your cardiovascular system healthy. So do not neglect strength training. I think sometimes as women, it can be, um, what's the word? It can be, well, I was about to say embarrassing. Wrong word. It can be intimidating. That's the word I'm going for. It can be intimidating to go to the weight section where the guys are, or it can be intimidating to just be to lift weights in general, because you might be uncomfortable and afraid that you might, what they say, look like a man. Okay, and I think that's one of the things that I was kind of afraid of in the beginning too, because I want to look feminine. Like I want to have feminine arms. I want to have a feminine physique. But what I didn't know is that if I did too much cardio, my arms were going to look like lunch lady arms. And I don't want that. Okay. My stomach was going to look like I had 3 kids. And I didn't want that either. So luckily, I was able to catch it and I didn't gain too much weight to the point where my body couldn't bounce back from it. But strength training saved my, I'm not going to say it saved my life, but it saved my physique. I want to say that. Okay. So please do not neglect that. Um, the fourth thing I want to talk about is, okay, and if you have any questions, make sure you leave them in the comment section. Okay. I think I made my video kind of late. Everybody sleep. Are y'all asleep today? I think everybody in the bed. I think I do have a comment. Hold on, let me see what it says. It says, ma'am, how do you overcome a breakup? It's been troubling me for months. Not sure what to do to get over it. We're not talking about breakups right now. But I'm sorry to hear that. I really am. So the next thing, and this, I feel like this is kind of like controversial, because when you think about losing weight, especially when you think about losing belly fat, the first thing you think about is I have to go hard. Like I can't play games with myself. I have to work really hard in order to get this weight loss, get this weight off of me. I have to bust my butt in the gym. I have to be there for 3 hours, and I got to work really hard, right? And what's crazy is that one of the reasons why you probably can't get rid of your mom belly is because you are stressing yourself out trying to lose weight. So what you're doing is that you're overtraining. So I'm not going to say everybody's overtraining, but overtraining is one of the causes of not being able to lose specifically belly fat. So let's say you got to the point you've lost some weight. Okay, your arms are a little slimmer, or you've toned down, your legs are a little smaller, right? And the last thing that is left, and it seems like it just won't go away, is your stomach. Okay. One of the reasons why you cannot lose your belly fat is because you have high cortisol levels. And that is not only just from day to day stress, but it's also because you might be working too hard in the gym and probably doing too much cardio. So when you do high intensity training over and over and over again, basically that's what cardio is. If you're doing the elliptical, or you're running on a treadmill every single day, and you're working out till you're like exhausted and you can't do anything else but go to sleep, What that does is that raise your cortisol, but it also creates inflammation in your body. So that inflammation, it stays in your gut. So even though you may not see it on your entire body because you kind of sweat a lot and you may have burned off some weight or whatever, you can still kind of see it in your face. If your face is still kind of puffy, if your gut is puffy, you can see it there too. So you have to keep that in mind. You have to really think about that when you are planning your workouts, when you are planning on the program that you want to go into to start, losing weight. Is this too much on your body? Like in the beginning, I always suggest that you start small. You have to start like at the basics, honestly. Maybe do like a basic circuit for like 20 minutes. You have to start at a basic level and work your way up, because if you start here, what else can you do but go here, right? You really have to think about that. So don't work too hard. And I know it's crazy to say, like people are like, well, how am I gonna lose the belly? You're working too hard. There is no reason why you're doing 45 minutes of cardio and 45 minutes of strength training. That is too much. That's too much all in one session. Your workouts when you're trying to lose weight should be an hour or less. Honestly, an hour, you probably don't even need to do that much. You really don't. So what I started doing, which is what helped me lose my belly fat, is that I would do strength training and I would do cardio, but I had to limit that. I had to shrink that down a lot. And of course, excuse me, excuse me. And of course, what I did was I changed my diet. So what I would do, I would focus my workouts on strength training. I would do my strength training for about 30 minutes, 30 to 40 minutes ish, because, in between sets you're dancing and, enjoying yourself. So my workouts can sometimes last an hour, but I'm not working out for the entire hour. I'm not. So maybe like 30 to 40 minutes of a strength training session, which means lifting weights or doing calisthenics, which is like body weight exercises. And then I will focus 10 to 15 minutes tops, nothing more than that, on my cardio. That's what I would do. Because in the past, when I had did cardio for 45 minutes, I couldn't even do anything else in my house. So I would get home after being exhausted from that extremely long workout, and all I could do was sit down and eat. So while I'm sitting down eating, all I'm doing is eating back all the calories that I just burnt off at the gym, which was a waste. So my belly just went nowhere. So that's my advice to you. Do not overtrain. Try your best not try. Actually, don't. It's so much easier to not overtrain. I think once we get into the routine of working out, we get excited and we don't really want to stop, but you have to cut back if you're doing too much. 45, like I said, 45 minutes of strength training and 45 minutes of cardio is too much in one session, and that is going to create inflammation in your body, and inflammation leads to chronic diseases. So please do not do that. Okay, please don't. I've already made the mistake and I'm not doing it anymore, and that's why I was able to lose my belly fat. So I'm giving you this advice because I'm telling you it's too much. Look it up. I promise you, I'm not lying to you. Okay. Another thing, too much overtraining does to your body is that it throws off your hormones. I may have already said that, but it throws off your hormones, so it makes your cortisone rise up to the top. Okay. You cannot have your cortisone be too high. Cortisone is a normal hormone, okay? But you're not supposed to have too much of it in your body. And cortisone normally is stored in your gut, okay? So you really have to think about that. It's a stress hormone. So when you're stressed out, which too much working out is going to stress out your body, the cortisone levels will go up. So it's some other factors that play into that. I'm gonna talk about that next. But I'm actually thirsty right now. So I'm drinking some lemon water right now, and I'm also drinking some pineapple juice. I know that pineapple juice is good for your gut because it has the citrus in it, and the citrus helps keep your belly fat low. Okay, not belly fat. It keeps your bloating down. So sometimes I do bloat if I eat the wrong foods. So I'll eat something that has citrus in it that will help bring down my stomach. So yeah, that's what I'm drinking right now. Um, yeah. So the next thing I want to talk about is holding on to resentment. Okay, that is one of the things that is holding you back from losing that belly fat. Okay, and little do you know that if you have emotions of a resentment in your heart, that it does not stay there. It goes to your mind and it sends a stress signal throughout your body. And it puts you in a fight or a flight mode because every time you really think about it, it makes you react in a different way other than being stress free, I would say. So when you hold resentment and grudges against people, that also raises your cortisol. And it raises another hormone too, but I can't pronounce it. And I'm not even going to try right now, but it starts with the E. Okay. So if you know what I'm talking about, put it in the comment section. But it also raises that hormone too, which basically can raise your blood pressure. And if you live day to day, which that is also a form of stress, if you go day to day with high blood pressure, you are going to most certainly end up with a chronic disease. Ask me how I know. Okay. So you cannot live in a high stress mood every single day. That is called chronic stress. So you have to work on that. You really do. You have to. So you have to start letting go of things, you know? I know sometimes resentment can be even like things from your childhood. Like a lot of us have childhood trauma, especially millennials. We have childhood trauma. You know, a lot of us are working through it now because we're aware of it. But because you have that stored in your mind, it never stays there. It goes throughout your body, and your body gets put into that state of fear, you know, and it's not able to release belly fat because that's not what it's worried about. It's more worried about the stress and the problems that you have and all those things. So it doesn't really even have time to burn belly fat. It doesn't have that time. You're not giving it that opportunity to do so. So when you are feeling like, you know, you're resenting somebody for maybe a reason, you know, I don't know what the reason could be. Maybe they hurt you, maybe they, you know, they betrayed you. You know, sometimes we can even have resentment in our heart for our kids. You know, there are people that have resentment in their heart for their children because of maybe things they didn't do, you know, and that may be small, but sometimes it can spiral into, you know, something that can end up, you can end up with a chronic disease because of high blood pressure and stress. So I want you to practice letting go. You know, meditation is not something that everybody does, but just take time throughout your day where you can just sit in peace and just quiet out the world. You know, close your eyes and be to yourself, even if it's only 10 to 15 minutes of quiet time. When you can get that, I want you to take the time out to do that for yourself because you deserve it. You know, you at least deserve some sort of peace. You know, so I don't want you to sit in a stressful environment forever because you don't have to. You don't. So as moms, you have to be able to take out that time for yourself, you know, to have that quiet, peaceful time. And like I said, maybe it might only be 15 minutes, but it's something that will take you out of that state of stress. And that, if you can get those moments every day, you are going to be able to lose your belly fat because you just need those breaks. You know, motherhood can be a high stress. It's a high stress job. You know, a lot of us sometimes can have, you know, experience anxiety and stuff like that. But if you can find those quiet moments, once you learn how to find a quiet moment, you can you can learn how to sprinkle it into other aspects of your life too and find more time to get that. So that's really what I want you to do. You know, I don't want you to be like all stressed out. Okay. Take a break sometimes, y'all. um, I'm reading my notes right now. Okay, I'm reading my notes. Okay, another thing that I didn't even get to say about cortisol. Cortisol actually slows down your metabolism. So a lot of people don't know that and they think, oh, it's just a stress hormone, but no, it literally puts your body in a standstill. So when you are stressed, your body can't work on the other functions like digestion. It can't do that. It can't repair itself when it's time for you to sleep. It can't do anything because it's so focused on this one thing. So that's why you have to bring down your stress levels, by any means necessary. It has to be a conscious effort. And I was just talking about this too. So number 6 is I want you to stop skipping out on sleep. Okay. You have to. Okay. Stop skipping out on your sleep. And the worst thing, and this is what I used to do. Okay. Don't judge me, y'all. Okay. But what I used to do is that I used to skip out on my sleep and then I used to try to make up for it with naps. That is the worst thing that you could do. Please do not do that. Please don't. Okay. Um, Give me 1 second. I gotta do something real quick. I need to make sure. I need to check something. I'm trying to check something. But if you have any questions, go ahead and put them in the comment section. If you have any questions. Okay. I think I'm done. Okay. So what I wanted to say was, I think I already said it. I want you to stop skipping out on your sleep and thinking that you can make it up with naps. Okay. Because I used to do that all the time. And I had to talk to my husband because I'm like, listen, honey, I know I have to take care of the house and the kids, and I'm trying to be the stay-at-home wife. I'm trying to do the best that I can. But I am not getting enough sleep. I'm not. And I know that it's affecting me. And he would be like, why don't you take a nap? And I did that. I did the nap thing. I did it for a while. Okay. And it did not work. It didn't work. So I don't want you to think that if you nap, it's going to fix everything because it's not. Napping does not help you recover at all. So I had to learn this the hard way. And unfortunately, in order to be able to recover, you actually have to get your sleep the normal way. So what I started doing was instead of thinking, okay, I can just take a nap and it'll fix everything, what I started doing was I actually started going to bed earlier. I was being a responsible person. Okay. You have to be responsible. Like you can't play around with this. Like this is your livelihood. This is your life. Okay? So make sure you're getting your sleep, okay? Don't play with your sleep. So what I learned, okay, so I'm a little nerd. So at times I can go and I'll look up things and I'll find out exactly like how I can fix things, okay? Because I like books. You already know I like books. Got all these books behind me. But what is that? What I learned is that um you actually don't even start your body doesn't even start recovering until you're an hour and 30 minutes into sleep. So that was pretty mind blowing to me because I didn't even really think about that. Is that okay? Yes, taking a nap is cool. Like it'll give you energy for maybe like a couple minutes. Not a couple minutes, but maybe like you can get an extra hour of wake time, I would say, but it's not doing the important things that your body actually needs. So if you really think about sleep, sleep is not just because you're so tired you can't do anything else. That's not what sleep is. Sleep is actually for you to have some sort of recovery. So when you go to sleep, the things that are being repaired, I actually had to write this down, okay? Because sometimes I forget. The things that are being repaired are your immune system, your organs, your muscles repair, and also your bones. So people don't know that, but your bones even recover while you sleep. So if all those things are recovering while you sleep, that means you can't just get 5 hours of sleep and think that's going to be okay. Your body literally goes through four different stages when you are sleeping. And I literally just learned this. Okay. I was just yesterday years old when I learned this because I always thought that it was only three stages. So I knew about the non REM sleep, which basically is like early sleep. I knew about REM sleep, which is basically your deep sleep. And I knew about, what's the other one? I forgot what the other one is. But I kind of knew that there were three stages. But actually, there's four stages of sleep. There's the first sleep where basically your body is kind of like just relaxing and you're basically still partially awake. Then it's that second sleep where you go into a deeper sleep, but you're still not really sleep yet. It's just basically your body going into a state of where it's able to like block out sounds. So if you ever been asleep for about, I would say like 25 minutes or so, and you can't hear what's going on, that's another stage of sleep. So that's stage number two. Stage three is basically still non REM. It's not even REM sleep. It's a deeper form of sleep where basically it's harder to be woken up out of and your body is more calm. What else can I say? Like I said, you can't hear anything. So it's almost like your ears don't work at that time. But REM sleep, which is the deepest sleep, which is recovery, it's not until that fourth stage. And that's not until you've been asleep for an hour and 30 minutes. And a lot of people don't know that. So when you take a nap and think that, okay, this nap is going to help me, it's going to help me, in some kind of way. I don't think everybody thinks about REM sleep when they take a nap. They just think, okay, I'm so tired, I have to do something. But that sleep will help you get through, like I said, keep you awake or alert a little longer, but it is not the sleep that you actually need. So when I looked up the study, or when I looked up sleep, I found out that, and it's crazy because it made me look deeper into it. But when you have to constantly take a nap every day and you feel like you're exhausted to the point that you have to go to sleep, they say regular napping is linked to high blood pressure. And I was just like, what? Like, what's wrong with a nap? Like, I couldn't really fathom how that could even be a problem until I was like, I need to check my numbers because I had already felt like, okay, why am I so tired all the time? Something is wrong. So after reading that study, and I try not to self-diagnose myself, and I don't want you to do that either. Do not self-diagnose yourself, okay? Try to go to the doctors and find out if anything is actually wrong with you, okay? Please go and check. But and this is not obviously for everyone, but when I went to go find out what my numbers were, I had high blood pressure. And that was in that time frame, excuse me, sorry. That's in a time frame when I was doing a lot of napping and I was taking a regular nap every day. To me, I really thought like I was being responsible. I was getting my nap in. I was so proud of myself. When little did I know that it was linked to high blood pressure and I actually was experiencing that at that time. I didn't even know. So it's really important that if your body sends you signs or signals and you start to change up your habits, I really want you to go and get your numbers checked. Go to your doctors, okay? Make an appointment. Don't be scared, okay? They're there to help you. That's their job. So whatever you ask them to do, they're supposed to do. So if you need your blood pressure checked, get your blood pressure checked. You can actually go to if I'm not mistaken, I don't know if you've heard of it before, but it's this thing called a Higgy machine. I know they have them in the city that I live in, but it's basically a portable blood pressure machine. You can check your blood pressure and you can check your weight there. So you can easily get your numbers honestly within an hour if you need to. You don't always have to make an appointment, but if you see that those numbers are high, and you're constantly napping all the time, you need to go and get that checked out. It can be linked to something else. Okay. And I don't want to wish anything bad upon anybody. But like I said, when I had found out about myself, I was really shocked. You know, I was shocked, but I was just like, wow, good thing I did my research because I wouldn't even thought nothing of it. I just thought, okay, I'm not getting enough sleep. I need to take a nap. But it can be linked to something else. So I want you to just take your health a little more seriously at times when you notice things in your body. Um, and I also, that article that I was talking about, one of them I left in the description section. So if you want to go and check that out, you can. If you want to, it's really up to you. I basically kind of said the important stuff just now. But if you really do want to know about more about sleep, not about why it's important, but basically what it does for your body, you can go and check that out in the description section. So, the number seven thing that I stopped doing is that I stopped drinking and eating things that made me bloated. So, I feel like this sounds silly, especially now because I'm just like, why didn't I stop earlier? What was I thinking? Like, what was I thinking? So, one of the things that I was doing is that even though a food made me bloated, which means if you don't know what bloat means, I feel like everybody knows what it means, but just in case you don't, bloating just means when your stomach expands and it kind of has, it's like too much pressure on the walls of your stomach, whereas though it's uncomfortable. So I would experience bloating from a couple things. Okay. One of the things that would make me bloat would be specific creamers for my coffee. So I know Coffee Mate, that's one of the creamers. Coffee Mate, International Coffee. I don't know the name of that creamer, but it's called International something. If you know what it is, leave it in the description section. But that creamer always makes my stomach bloat really bad. And I started to keep track of it. So I would be like, okay, like, why do I always look like this after I have coffee? I started to think that it was the coffee. I'm like, maybe it's just too much caffeine. So I would drink less of it. But every time I had that coffee, my stomach would still be bloated. So I'm like, what is happening? And one day I decided, I said, okay, I'm going to change my creamers. I refuse to drink black coffee. Okay, I'm just not doing it. It's just something I refuse to do. I'm just not, it's just too nasty for me. If you drink black coffee, like, let me know how you can do that because I cannot stomach black coffee. So I know that I'm going to put some sort of cream or milk or something in it. So I decided to start drinking almond milk. When I changed my creamer to almond milk, or that replacement, my bloat went away. And I did not experience any bloating from coffee ever again after that. So I noticed that, okay, this creamer is doing something to me. So I know I need to stop drinking it. And I want you to do the same thing. If you feel like there's something in your body, not in your body, if you feel like it's something that you're eating and almost immediately after you eat it, you get some sort of bloating from it, you need to eliminate that from your diet. If you can, try to swap it with something else. But if you can't, you just have to stop eating it because what's happening is sometimes our bellies are not just from us eating too much or maybe we're not exercising enough. Sometimes it's literally because we're putting things in our body that is causing inflammation. So once I found out like this creamer is making me bloated and I literally only changed it because of aesthetic purposes. I can't lie. But once I was able to change that, I noticed that my body acted differently and I actually could see the results of me not drinking that coffee. My stomach looked so much better after drinking coffee and I actually felt good about it. Like I was like comfortable drinking the coffee. So that's one thing I want you to look into. And it's like coffee, that's something small, it's just creamer, that's something small. but it can be a load of things that bloat you throughout the day that not only will make you bloated just because your body doesn't like it, but you can actually be allergic to it. So whatever that thing is, as soon as you eat it and maybe your face puffs up or your stomach bloats, take that out of your diet because your body does not need it. You need to get rid of it. So that's one thing that I stopped doing. Um, that's what I was saying earlier. Your body is basically sending a signal to you that it has an intolerance for whatever that thing is. So for me, it was that creamer. I had found out, well, I had already kind of knew this, but that it's non-dairy. So, excuse me. I had already knew that it wasn't dairy. But then if you really think about it, okay, if this thing is not milk, what the heck is it? So I would go and look at the ingredients, and the ingredients list was so long that I knew at least one of those things in there was creating an intolerance in my gut and was making me have, bloat all the time. So that's one thing I suggest for you to stop doing because that's what I stopped doing. I don't want you to repeat it and think, okay, maybe I'm just full. No, if you're bloating after every single cycle of whatever that thing is, you have to take it out of your diet. Um, And also too, that's another form of inflammation in your gut. And if you have chronic inflammation in your gut, which means kind of like what I was doing every day, making my gut bloated from that coffee and that creamer, if you're doing that every day, that is considered as a chronic inflammation because it's consistent. It's every single day and it never stops. And coffee is something that we kind of drink every day. So if you really think about it, you can be putting yourself into a predicament where you will experience, not will, but you can experience some sort of disease. So just really think that through and don't look at it as something small because small things add up over time. So, one of the things I want you to do, if you are experiencing bloating, I want you to start keeping track of it. I want you to keep a food diary. Now, this might sound like very tedious, but it doesn't have to be extreme, okay? You can just get something simple like a notebook. I actually have one of my notebooks here. Um, this notebook I have on my website right now. I have three different notebooks though, but this is the one that I keep in my house that I like to use. It just has like a picture of a girl. Okay, that's it. She's in a cafe. And then on the back it says Balanced Motherhood on it. It has the logo. But this book is what I jot my notes down in. And I like to keep notebooks like this just in case I need to, jot something down or I need to keep track of something. I even like to do my to-do list in this book. So if you need a notebook to keep track of your food, you can always go and look at my website. I have linked all my notebooks in the description section. So if you want to go and check them out, you can. But even if you have a notebook at home, use what you have if you have to. Write down the things that are making you bloat during the day. That way, you can go the next day and you can test it out again. And then remove that thing from your diet for a day or two. If you don't experience the bloating, okay, this is the thing. So just try to keep track of it. That's one of the things. I think that's the easiest thing that you can do before even going to go see a doctor because you know your body better than anybody else. So eliminate whatever that thing is. Okay, so the eighth thing I want to talk about is that I want you to stop eating like you are a child. Okay. And I say that with love, okay, with love, because I used to do the same thing. One of the things I used to do is that I would make my kids food, right? And I would end up eating the same meal that they ate. So I'm trying to say this nicely, but I don't know how. But you got to stop eating like a kid, okay? Gone are the days where you eat just because it tastes good. Okay, you have to start eating like an adult. Okay, and what I mean by that is you have to eat for nourishment. When you get my age, okay, I'm 33. When you get in your 30s, okay, even in your 20s, okay, after you have kids, your body has changed, okay. You need to start eating like a grown woman. Okay, you have to, because you are going to suffer if you don't. You can't be eating mac and cheese every day. What are more kid foods? You can't eat chicken nuggets every day. You can't be eating out every day. Okay, Uber Eats, all that stuff. You cannot do that stuff every day. That is eating because it tastes good. And I'm not saying that you can't eat because the food tastes good, but you cannot eat just for a taste. You have to eat because the food, the nourishment in the food is what you need. The vitamins, the micronutrients, the macronutrients. Those things are what's going to fuel your body and help you burn that belly fat. Because listen, it's not going nowhere if you keep eating like you're a toddler. I promise. Because it's so many preservatives and nuggets and fries and burgers. And don't get me wrong, burgers are good. Okay, I like me a good burger, but I know I can't eat that every day. So what I started to do is that I would make myself a separate meal, and I made it like a special thing for myself. And sometimes I made it so good that my kids wanted it. So I love to do like a good salad with some chicken over it. I try to keep it basic, okay? A sweet potato. I love sweet potatoes. But I would do like brown sugar. I still like my butter, okay? With a little bit of salt. But I would bake it or I would microwave it or something like that. But like eating whole foods is what's going to help you burn belly fat. That is the number one thing. You have to start eating whole foods because your body is not going to be able to lose any excess fat without eating the foods that it needs in order to let go of the fat. Okay, because basically when you're eating all that processed food, you're just adding it onto your body. So you have to start eating better. Um, you just have to change your diet. You can't eat what you used to eat. Basically what kids eat. You can't eat that anymore. So, and not saying that you can't have it at all. I know that majority of the time, at least 80% of the time, you have to be eating whole foods. And that's really how you get what they say. That's how you get abs, because they say abs are made in the kitchen. So if they're made in the kitchen, that means what you eat is basically the number one thing. It's at the top of the list. Like I said, you can lose all the fat. Okay, you can lose it off your arms. You can lose it off your legs. You can lose that big back. Okay, but when it comes to that stomach, this is all diet. Okay, unfortunately, it is. So I want you to stop eating for taste and eat for nourishment. So number 9, I just talked about extremism, right? Number 9. Hold on one second. Oh no. My stuff falling off. Can you stop, kitty? Cut it out. Cut it out. Okay. I think she gone. Okay. Oh, sit down. All right. Back to the video. I'm sorry. Number 9, what I want you to do is I want you to stop eliminating entire food groups. Okay. And I say it because I remember when I first started trying to lose weight, people would tell me, you need to stop eating carbs. You got to cut carbs. And I used to be like, really? They'd be like, you eating too much bread. So just stop eating it. And I used to be like, I can't eat bread anymore. I'm like, Oprah, I love bread. Why can't I eat bread anymore? Like, that is crazy telling me that I can't eat bread. So Instead of cutting whole food groups out, okay, do not cut all your meat out. If you're not a vegetarian, because there are people that are vegetarian, so I understand. If you want to just eat vegetables and fruit, that's not my business. But if you're trying to lose weight for, just to lose weight or lose belly fat, and you're not a vegan, you're not a vegetarian, please do not cut out an entire food group. What you can do for carbs is that you can eat a smaller amount of carbs. You don't have to cut them completely out of your diet. Okay, you don't. You need certain carbs, especially whole grains. You need that stuff for your gut health. Okay, that's how you're going to be able to go to the bathroom. If you don't eat whole grains, you're not going to be able to go to the bathroom. And I think you know what I mean when I say go to the bathroom. If you're not going to the bathroom regularly, I should have put that on here. You are not going to lose any belly fat because everything is literally sitting in your gut, and that is also inflammation. So you have to get rid of that. Okay. Do not, I tell you, do not take this extreme. Okay. Do not be the extreme person. Stop eating all the carbs. Stop eating all the vegetables. Stop eating all the fruit. Only eat, become a carnivore or some weird stuff like that. Do not do that. If you are a mom and you have children, you cannot cut out whole food groups because you're going to stress your brain out, which is going to stress out your body. Okay. And if you stress out your gut, your fat is going nowhere. I promise it's not going anywhere. So one of the things I started doing is that instead of cutting out a whole food group, I just ate less of it. So when it's time for me to eat my grains, I'll eat like one slice of whole wheat toast, or instead I'll do a half a cup of whole rice, like whole grain rice, whole wheat rice, I would say. Instead of eating a full cup or an entire bowl of it, I would just eat less. Because if you're doing what I said earlier, if you're doing strength training, you cannot just be walking around eating no grain. You cannot have any grain. What you're going to do is you're going to end up binging. Because a lot of times, if you have a gut, which is what I had, it's because you have minimal discipline. Okay. And if you don't have the discipline, what's going to happen is when you get hungry, you're just going to binge and start eating all this food anyway. So do not restrict yourself so much that you're literally sending your body into malnutrition. Okay. You don't want to do that. You need to be able to eat the food groups that you need to eat. What you can cut out is fast food. What you can cut out is junk food like chips, pastries. You can cut that stuff out. But when it comes to whole grain, do not cut your carbs. You need them. Okay. Pasta, yes. But if it's 100% wheat, 100% whole grain, you should probably be eating it. Quinoa, that's a good item. Brown rice. Don't cut that out if you don't have to. Don't cut it out. So that's one of the reasons, like I said, that's one of the reasons why I stopped listening to people that didn't have the body type that I want, is because they were cutting out whole food groups. And I'm just like, oh, I can't eat any of it. I'm just like so confused. Like, this is crazy. Really? I can't have any? So I would try to do that. And then on top of that, I was doing cardio for 45 minutes to an hour every day. It was too much on my body. And I lost a little weight. Don't get me wrong. Like I said, you're going to lose weight, but you're not going to lose what you want to lose. Because at the end of the day, most people want to lose their gut. If nothing else, they want to lose this. They want to lose this right here. Okay. So you can't lose this unless you get your diet together. Okay. So number 10. Okay. This is my favorite one. Number 10, I stopped underestimating the power of a 30-minute walk. Because I remember when I was going hard in the gym, okay, I think I still go hard now because I catch people staring at me like, dang. And I know they like, dang, she could do it. Yes. I've been working out for 4 years straight. Actually, I keep saying 4. I think I'm on year number 5 now. Okay. I've been strength training for 5 years. So I know what I'm doing in the gym. Okay. But what I used to underestimate was walking. And I don't know why I underestimated it, but I remember when I was younger, we walked everywhere. Why did you walk everywhere? Because you had no car. You didn't have a job. You didn't do nothing but walk. Now, I don't know about these Gen Z kids, okay? Because my youngest son act like he ain't never did nothing but be in a car all his life. And I swear we've taken a bus before. I swear we've gotten on trains before. I swear we've done all the things before with him. But he act like he don't know what it is to be on anything but a car. But for us millennials, okay, at least if you grew up in my generation, okay, our parents made us go places, okay, which means we didn't have no car, okay. So if you didn't have no car to get there, guess what you was doing? You were walking. We walked everywhere. I walked to school every single day. I walked back home every single day. And that walk that I used to take to school was 30 minutes. I think it was 30 to 45 minutes or so. And to some people, it's like, hey, you walking 45 minutes there every day and then back another 45 minutes. It seems like a lot as an adult because we're lazy. Okay, we get lazy over time. We have vehicles. We have basically chauffeurs. I'm sorry, Uber is a chauffeur. It's the same thing. And we've gotten lazy because we have money. But when you're a kid, excuse me, your metabolism is fast, yes. But one of the reasons why it's fast is because you're walking all the time. You're always walking. So I underestimated a 30-minute walk. And I started, kind of cherishing it more when I started seeing body fat falling off of me again. And the reason why it started happening is because I got a dog. I got a little doodle. Okay. Well, he's not little anymore, but I have to walk my dog. So I walk my dog at least once a day. And then I have my kids help me with the other times that the dog needs to be walked, unless like they're doing something and I'll just walk the dog anyway. But outside of that, I walk the dog every single day. And when I don't walk the dog, I walk to the grocery store. If I don't walk to the grocery store, I walk down the street. I just take a joy walk. I really like to take my cool girl walks. I don't do them all the time, but for the most part, I'm doing them almost every day. Okay. And these walks, half of it I like to do with the dog, but the walks in general, number one, it helps you clear your mind. I like sometimes to do I like escapism. And I know that's really bad, but sometimes I just need peace. I need to be able to not think about what I have to do in the next moment. And it helps me get peace of mind, like what I talked about earlier, getting that 15 minutes of quiet time. The easiest way to get it is to leave the house. And that's one of the reasons why I do work out outside the house, is because I can have that peaceful time to myself to be amongst other adults and do something that's good for my body. But those walks are also a time where I can get out the house and have quiet time. I can put on my earphones and listen to some music, or I can listen to an audio book. And if you don't know already, I have a list of audio, actually a list. I have a playlist of audiobooks if you want to listen to them while you're taking your walks. I need to put that in the description section. I'll do that after I upload this video. But that playlist has books that you can listen to that will help you, change your mindset towards a more positive side and actually get you back on track if you're falling off. Okay. So it's called Gist. I think it's called Gist Books, if I'm not mistaken. It's GYST. It stands for Get Your Ish Together Books. Okay. And there's a lot of them in there. Most of them are self-development books or parenting books. So go and check that out when you get a chance. But that when I leave the house, it's a good time for me to be able to clear my mind, and really think about um like not really even think about anything. I'm mainly doing it so I can stop stressing about things, stop stressing, stop worrying, and just do something for myself. But within that 30 minutes, not only are you walking and clearing your mind, but that 30 minutes is a way to get a low impact cardio workout. Okay. Walking, people don't really look at it as a workout, but it is. Like when you get your steps in, that's why they say they want you to get 10,000 steps a day. That's because when you are in movement, not only is you know, uh, your arms and your legs moving, but your blood is moving. Your food is digesting. Like things are happening in your body where it's kind of not repairing itself, but it's things are going where they need to go. Okay. So do not underestimate the power of a 30-minute walk because it works. Okay. That's one of the ways I was able to lose my little belly fat. Okay. One of the ways I like to do it, and this is like my favorite way, is that I'll take a 15-minute walk forward wherever I'm going, and then all you got to do is walk back. And that's the other 15 minutes. That's how you can easily get a 30-minute walk. Pop your earphones in, earbuds, whatever you got, your overhead earphones. Sometimes, depending on where you are, just listen to where you are. Listen to the environment. Sometimes quiet, sometimes just listening to the birds is just so peaceful. So take that time out for yourself, okay? I hope this video was helpful and give you some tips on some things that you can stop doing to help you lose your belly fat, because you don't have to have it. I promise. It can be gone. Okay. It may take a couple months or so. Let me not discourage you. Honestly, depending on how much belly fat you have, it can probably be gone in 2 months. But that's if you take this advice in this video and do the things that you know you're supposed to do. I feel like this video honestly is just a reminder. I think a lot of us already know what we're supposed to be doing. So just try to get back on track, and if you can, use the things I talked about in this video. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel because I'll be making more videos like this. And if you know someone that this video can help, make sure you share it with them. Okay. Leave me a comment in the comment section and I'll see you in my next video. And if you don't know by now, balance is possible for every mom. And don't let anybody tell you anything different. Bye.